All right, this first question tells us that inequalities have blank solutions, and we're supposed to use the drop-down menu to select from infinitely many solutions, one solution, a few solutions, or no solutions. And so when we're studying these inequalities, we start with number lines and understanding a number line. This number line looks like it runs from 0 to -10 and 0 to 10. However, because, whoops, sorry about that, poof, it disappeared. Because it has the arrows on this end, it says, hey, we don't stop at -10. The number line continues on till we hit the last number on the number line, -infinity. And then the number line, as we start at the smallest end and we work our way to the bigger numbers, we hit from, get out of the negatives, hit 0, and head towards the positives. This number line indicates that we can keep going until we get to positive infinity. And we know that negative and positive infinity never ending. So the number line itself goes on from negative infinity to positive infinity and has no end. So we're now going to take a peek at this particular inequality. When we look at inequalities, they have a start point and an end point. And so when we're looking at this inequality, you can see that the end has that orange arrow on it. And that inequality says, hey, I'm going to start at -infinity as my smallest value in my inequality, and I'm going to run it up until I get to -1. And I'm going to include -1, and that is my largest value. So if we're running from -infinity to -1, there are infinitely many solutions on this. Even though we're only using half of the number line, there are infinitely many because of this ending on it. So this inequality says, hey, we start at -infinity and run to -1. So all my numbers that are in the orange section of the number line are less than or equal to -1. And there are infinitely many numbers that are less than or equal to -1. So that inequality says infinitely many. And we can study one that has the open dot and shades the opposite direction. This one starts at 4, but not including 4. So that's our endpoint. It starts at 4, but it doesn't include 4. But as you can see, it also runs to positive infinity. So even though, again, we're taking our number line and cutting it in half, there are still infinitely many solutions because of this arrow. It tells us you run until the number line ends, and it doesn't. So there are infinitely many solutions. So inequalities have infinitely many solutions.